So if Alabama is broke, how much money does the state have?
In revenue, we have somewhere in the ballpark of $28 billion.
Wait a minute. I thought we were broke.
Yes. Unless we can patch a $250 million hole, we are in big trouble.
But $250 million, that's like less than 1% of what we have to spend.
0.9% to be exact.
So if this was my household budget, and if I made $500 every week, 0.9% of that would be
$4.50.
So that's a bag of potato chips.
Maybe a family-sized bag of potato chips.
But I could save that by accident. How can Alabama be broke?
The thing you have to understand is that despite all that talk from politicians about government working like a family budget, it doesn't really work that way. And to understand why, you have to understand earmarks. Obviously, nobody likes taxes.
Yeah, taxes suck.
But historically, taxes have been more popular in Alabama when they're restricted for a specific purpose, such as for schools or for roads. Those restrictions are called earmarks. At the ballot box, voters are more likely to support earmarked taxes and politicians who prefer earmarked taxes. And Alabama has a lot of earmarks.
How many earmarks are we talking?
Well, let's go through them. We'll take them in chunks. So we have this $28 billion, right?
Right.
But a lot of that money, most of it actually, comes from the federal government. And it comes with strings attached.
Earmarks, in other words.
Right. $17 billion of earmarks. The state can't fiddle with that. So we have to back that out. And we get $11 billion of what we'll call Alabama money.
That's still a lot, though.
Yes, but we haven't even begun with our state earmarks yet. Alabama is one of only a few states that puts its education dollars into a separate fund. And it can't touch that money for the hole we're talking about. So that's another $5.8 billion we have to back out.
Okay.
But that's not all we earmark. We earmark gas taxes for roads, for instance. Those other earmarks go into what we call other funds. That's another $3.5 billion of untouchable money.
But that still leaves us with
somewhere near $1.7 billion. We call that the general fund. That's what's left over.
That's great.
But we have needs too.
Oh, well, that's not so great.
And those needs have to be paid out of that unrestricted money. Medicaid matching money, for instance, our underfunded prison system that you've been hearing so much about, and so on and so forth.
And how much is that?
By most guesses right now, this year it could be a little bit north of $1.9 billion.
So $250 million more than we have to spend. But we can't just cut our way out of it?
Some of those expenditures have been cut to the bone already. And we also have to be very careful of cutting matching funds. There are consequences of doing that.
What are the consequences?
Well, that's a whole different bag of potato chips.